So in today's video, a little experiment and a little adventure. I ordered a selection of art supplies from Temu and I thought it'd be fun to sit down together and try them out properly. So we're going to unbox everything, test them on real artwork and see how they actually feel to use, whether they're hidden little treasures or maybe not quite. I'm sharing my honest artist experience, no hype, no harshness, just curiosity and creativity. This will be a two parts to this video, the unboxing and the testing. So make yourself comfortable, grab a warm drink, and let's explore these supplies together. All right, let's go to my workstation here. I have my order from Temu, mainly art supplies. Some other little craft supplies are in here. Let's have a look, shall we? Ooh, I'm excited. So excited to see what's in here. There they are. Oh, let's put everything off to the side and go through this one at a time and have a little look-see. First off, what I have is a little turntable. Now, I didn't want to buy something wooden or too hard. I am actually going to be using it for spraying. And so this snaps together that quick. It was $5.67. It's a perfect little turntable, and I'm going to be using it for when I'm clear coating, spraying, and it can help me work around the image without having to walk around the piece. It'll be easier to take care of. So there's that piece. Our next up, what is in here? Oh yes, for $4.84 is my graphite pencils, a soft, medium, and hard. There are 4 of each, and these are for sketching, drawing, yeah, but I do a lot of grave rubbings, so I do enjoy the graphite sticks for that. Now for $2.08, I have a little mushroom mold. Yeah! I'm so excited with this one. This one you could use with polymer clay, and air dried clay is going to be really great for this. It has little tops, and this is the bottom of the mushroom. It's going to be fun to use that. We'll definitely be using that in our future. And for $1.71, we have the kneadable eraser that leaves no shavings behind when you're using it, and these are really great for using on canvas. I find it also doesn't smudge the paint and dull out the paint that I have underneath after I've sketched on top of it. I've ordered a lot of paintbrushes for $2.17. I have, I think, a set of 4, 6, 8 here, and they're all different sizes. And they're a beautiful Chinese brush stroke painting, and I'm looking for a filler for watercolor usage. Ink painting, I'm going to be using these for. Look at that. Beautiful taper. Beautiful hair on this. I can't wait to try it out. It feels so lovely. Not even glued together. It looks good already, and it feels great. So I've been looking forward to try those ones out. Now we have a nice fat expression on brush. I use it for filling, and this is a different type of hair that I've used before. Just testing it out. The movement seems a little bit stiffer, but really soft. So we'll test this out later on the second part of the video, where we test out some of these brushes and products, and we'll see how the hair is. And now this one for $1.45, so inexpensive. We're going to be making some natural cones, some incense cones on our channel here in the future. So I'm going to be using that. I'm excited. I've always wanted one of those. Now for only $4.75 is a fine liner set. Now it does say it's waterproof, so we'll experiment with that in a little bit. It has anywhere from 0.8 all the way up to 0.0001, and it has a brush and some fat tips as well in this. So I'm excited. I'm working on some oracle cards and I ran out of my liners, so I need a fresh set. For $1.77 only, I got this set of liners. I am on the holy hunt to find the perfect fine liner. So I got this entire set. It goes quite tiny, from a 0.0000 up to a 0.4, I believe. Now only for $1.05, I got these two. They came into a set. They're white felt tip markers. I love them for my grimoiring and for my painting on canvas too. I've used these pens before and have had quite a bit of success with them. Now this was an upsell for $3.83. This is not artist supplies, but this was one of those right when I'm checking out, do you want to add on thicker cardstock than I expected. I do want to put these around jars. So they're very stiff. So I might need to put them inside the jar instead because they're not going to probably adhere to the outside. There are 40 cards in this set. It tells the magical meaning and it has the element and the planetary ruler with these. Now, after I went through this entire set, I realized out of 40, I just don't have 6 of them. So I have 6 herbs I must be on a mission for. Haha. So that's only 6 that I'm missing. So yeah, I think what I'll just do, I'll put them on the inside of the jar and it'll be pretty sweet that way. For $2.12, I got this beautiful paper. First, I was a little bit taken back that they folded it, not rolled it. And look at that, how thin it is. It's going to be so beautiful for painting, for my work. It is like a mulberry paper. It is going to be gorgeous. You're going to be seeing this in future works on the channel too. Now, what you can do with this paper, if it's folded, simply on a low setting flat surface, you can iron it. Iron all paper. When I do my paper, make my paper, I use an iron after I coffee dye it. Now for $2.87, I have these 2 paintbrush holders. I'm going to put them together, show them on the second part of the series here. Now for $2.54, I have this beautiful case. I've been looking forward to this one most of all. Now, what I would normally spend on one brush, I got this entire set. Look at this. From chisels to fans to covers to fine liners to the curve to a spatula. It is beautiful, beautiful hair on this. Absolutely gorgeous hair. I was quite taken back. I wasn't what to expect really, but I find this case holder not only is sewn beautifully together, it has a plastic insert that goes over top of it to protect when you're out and about. I got this for traveling. Now for $1.94, I'm on the search for the liners. I've never found liners as fine as I need, and I decided to try something different. These are the finest liners I have ever seen, and I'm excited. Starting off with this wee little one. Look at that. The camera won't even pick it up. Now these detailed liners, what they're for is nail art. So you can imagine the teeny tiny little details they get with these. And I'm going to take advantage of that because I can't get enough detail in my work when I'm painting. I love every tiny little hair, every eyelash, everything goes in. Look at this one. Oh, I'm so excited to be able to use these. I've never had such a fine liner. Look at this. I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but I'm going to play with it and experiment with it, and it'll let me know what it wants to do. Look at these. You can imagine the detail I'll be able to get into eyes of the creatures of animals that I paint alone. Here's a setup of my messy art station here, but let's experiment with some of these. Now, There was a few little hairs sticking out of this. Now, this is not due to it being Temu, I will tell you that. Almost all brushes, especially these type of brushes, you have to take some tape, roll the tape backwards, and you're going to pull out any excess hairs. This happens with many brushes that I've bought, from inexpensive to very expensive brushes. So it's not due to the price or where you bought it. This is just standard usage because I don't want any hairs left behind when I do my washes. Nothing like having to pick out a hair or finding a hair later on that is dried on your canvas. That can detract from the revenue that you could get from your paintings. So, and it's just drives me nuts. So I just use some water there first to soak my canvas. It was very easy. And look at that, the blending, I'm doing darker up top and then rocking it in lighter as I go on, and I find it's not I don't have a harsh streak. I was expecting the hairs, because how the hairs were a little thicker. I expected them to leave more streaks, and they came on absolutely beautiful. This is the canvas finished now for the background, as you can see here, and I just had an absolute blast with that paintbrush. Now, this little brush here, I have never used this shape before. So I'm going to use this as some branches. I'm painting on this canvas here some branches, some cherry blossoms with a little bat hanging from the branch. And this is a commission piece by a private collector, indeed. I'm really enjoying the feel of this brush. It's an acrylic fine hair, and it's going in beautifully. I'm not getting dry parts bleeding through from the canvas. Working on the bat here, I find it's beautiful fill. I can chisel in the edge at the same time. I can create, so you can see I'm chiseling there at the same time I'm bringing in some finer points. Using the curved in some washes. Now I'm taking my acrylic here and I'm using more of a watercolor effect, very thinned out, experimenting with the brushes. You can tell the brush works beautifully for watercolor and acrylic. I don't paint with oils, so I can't attest to that. But the coverage is gorgeous. I'm getting beautiful effects that I expected. Coming in with now the liner of the same set. There's my bat that I'm working off of. And just doing some lighter lines with some violets to bring out the highlights and some detail over the shadow animals. A little teaser is that I'm going to be doing this style of art for my oracle cards, my shadow animal oracle cards I've been working on for this past year. I have almost all my sketches complete, and then I'm going to be painting in this style. So looking forward to making over 50 cards with that style. Now working on a different style of brushing here. These are more of the tapers, kind of like a Chinese brush painting style. And again, the fill, it's going in beautifully. It's not leaving streaks behind. I'm quite enjoying these brushes. Now, one thing I didn't say, it took me a couple weeks between the unboxing and the paintings, is that I use these paint brushes and these products for about the past 2 weeks. And I wanted to see how the paint brushes to hold up, because sometimes I'm not very gentle on some of my brushes. So this was definitely a really cool test, and to see how they'd hold up. So I thought that'd be a fair test to wait a couple weeks. Now experimenting with some watercolor on watercolor paper. And again, look at that same brush. I'm able to angle it and get some fine lines. We're going to let that dry and come back to that. And then we're going to bring in some liners. Now on these liners, it did say it was waterproof, sorry. I did try to line a page first and then paint over that. It didn't work out as well as I thought it would. So I would find that after experimenting that it was easier to paint the watercolor first, let it dry, and then ink it. Now there are some pens out there you can ink first, let it dry, watercolor over that, and it holds. But these ones were not that style of liners, which they are beautiful to work with over a dried watercolor. I would like to kind of experiment to see how these are. Now this one I'm looking at is a 0.1. And I'm going to go through all these super quick so you can see. Now, when I was lining over the watercolor, it didn't skip, it wasn't dry. The brush I'm looking forward to, that'd be cool. And some of these are so fine, the camera's not picking them up, but it's going to be gorgeous when I'm working on my oracle cards, and that's what I got them for. Now, these graphite sticks come in a hard, medium, and soft. Now the soft I reckon would be maybe about a B3, and the soft was very nice to use, I find. Now the hard, it would probably be more in the Fs, maybe an early F grade, and I find the medium pencils were like an HB, very, very, very similar. Even an HB2 probably. And using the soft last, I usually draw very faint, very light, so I do have to lean towards the soft. But like I said, these ones are going to be for my grave rubbings. I do a lot of grave rubbings throughout the year, especially family that we come across when we're traveling. We go see our grave sites, and it's just a really cool thing to collect. So the sticks work out. Graphite sticks picks up more detail than charcoal sticks, actually. Charcoal I used to use, but they can be quite flimsy, quite messy. They can smudge easier. And again, just playing with this paper for what it can do. Moving on to the white marker now. I'm working on a jellyfish here. This is also a commission piece for a private collector. And this one should be done within the next week. I have more layers to go, but I was waiting for these markers to come in so I can save myself some time. I made fast work of what I wanted to work on with the little frills and bills on here. Made fast work of all that, and it saved me probably about a half an hour of time of lining. And I liked how it turned out. So after I have my lining on here, I'm going to be moving on to some more iridescent colors and layers of this jellyfish. Working with 3 different brushes I've used over the past 2 weeks, I've been leaning towards these 3 as my favorites, and I'm going to try these liners for the first time. I kind of wanted to save it for this video. I didn't try the liners at all the past couple weeks, but I was waiting for this painting. And we're going to be working on a beautiful little moon here. So starting off with my taper brush. And you can see how you can angle it and get even some finer lines for the tips of the crescent moon. Just using an acrylic paint here, filling in water so it'll bleed, and I was able to scoop off some excess paint I didn't want, and that was a really cool. These brushes rock that. Now this curved brush I have been so enjoying with watercolor acrylic. It has a nice spread and it creates some very soft effects when I'm doing moons, for example. Now this is a 12 millimeter detailed liner, And let's try out this one to see how it works. This is my first time with this one. And the vote is in. I'm blown away. I have finally found my ultimate liner that I've been looking for most of my artistic life. I never thought of using nail art brushes before until I saw them on Temu. And I thought that is just, look at that, it's just amazing. I have such fine lines. I can't wait to do eyes with these. So I was sponsored in this video by Temu with my $0 Temu haul. If you wish the same, link is in my description. Search my code at FRV101581 to claim your gift. For new app users with qualifying orders and terms and conditions apply. If you're ready to save big, grab your $100 coupon bundle now. You can search this link in my description or this code in the Temu app for 30% off. Thanks for chilling out with me today and enjoying this artist supply haul and demonstration. And have yourself an absolutely magical day.